It is okay to tell your kids the truth about where you are financially. You are not a bad parent. You're not a bad person if you are honest about the fact that the priorities in the house are them eating, us having food, lights, water, a roof over our head, and not all the extra shit that they want. I have been a parent for the last 4 years almost, and something I think is very interesting about what parents do, just psychologically, is that a lot of parents think that their success as a parent is based on how much better of a life that they can give their child than they had. And that's perfectly reasonable. Where it gets a little funky to me, though, is that the way they measure better a lot of times is by how much stuff they can give the kid, right? Like, I'll use myself as an example. When I was growing up, the coolest things to have were consoles, right? Video games. Things like PlayStations and when the Xbox first came out, Xbox 360, like those, the PlayStation 2, all of those things were when you were a kid and Christmas came, that's what you asked for, right? And we knew a lot of parents, probably, maybe some of us knew, I knew, maybe some of the other kids didn't know, that parents couldn't afford a lot of times to get that. But they always found a way, right? Now, when you think about that phrase, found a way, a lot of times that meant they put it on layaway. They were paying payments on it, right? They put it on a credit card that they know they couldn't afford, right? All to see you open up that gift on Christmas morning so that they can feel like I did something good for them. And while I understand the sentiment, all that we are doing is passing on that generational curse that y'all talk about a lot, about how we think about money, onto our children. We tell the children subliminally when we do this, that, you know what, it's more important for you to have what you want than you to be able to understand that this landscape is not conducive to us doing everything we desire right now. We need to bring back no to our children. And again, if you are somebody who is struggling and you're not buying these things anyway, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to a specific person here. The person who says, I don't know how to make it, but I'm still going to put my kid in every activity. I'm still going to give them every single game or every Christmas gift they want because they deserve it. While your kid is important to you, isn't it even more important, if you love them, to give them the truth? To tell them, listen, what I want you to grow up with is financial discipline. What I want you to be able to have is discernment. And how can you possibly have that if when you grow up, you are under the impression that, hey, giving children gifts is what you should do regardless of what your situation is. See, I have the ability right now to buy my child whatever she wants. But we do not just say, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? And we'll go get it. No. We get her things and we ask people to get her things who are part of our family that actually enrich her life. Things that are beneficial to her development. If you're going to spend the money, that's where I would spend it. But if you just truly don't have it, I think the Christmas gift or the gift you can give your kids is the truth. Tell them, teach them about money and why you're doing what you're doing. Tell them the truth about why mommy is saving like a madman, why mommy and daddy are working like crazy people. Tell them what you're really after so that they can understand, because kids are a lot more perceptive than we give them credit for. I watch my daughter all the time. She watches me do things and then will replicate those things and say, look, Dad, look what I'm doing. Look. It's incredible how little credit we are willing to give our children. They can see everything. Don't dumb them down as just these beings who need to be entertained. They want, you know what they really want a lot of times is interaction with you. And I get that a lot of times we can't give that because we're working, because we're doing this, because we're doing that. So a lot of times we fill the void with the stuff. But I'm telling you right now, if saving that $500, $600 and not buying that console could buy you another couple hours with your children, another day or so of you saying, hey, let's take a walk today. Let's talk today. That's what they need. That's my opinion. All right? Listen, if you think you can just give them whatever they want and they'll turn out fine, go for it. But from what I have seen, there's a very big disconnect with good parents. I'm not saying y'all bad parents. I'm not saying that we're not trying our best. But I just think the way that we're going about it a lot of times betrays the goal that we say that we have. If what we want is a better life for our kids than we had, we can't go down the path of consumerism in order to fill the void of the things that we feel like we can't give them. We cannot say on Christmas, all right, load them up, and then I can say I'm a good mom today. I'm a good dad today. You're just as listen, the single mom who spends time with their children and can't get them anything is far more connected than the dad who makes $170,000 a year, never sees their kids, but always sends them fucking toys. That person's not getting a role model. They got Santa Claus. That's it. And you are not a parent if you are just being Santa Claus. That's you got to be more than that. Parenting is more than that. And a lot of times when we hear adults, by the way, grow up and say, I wasn't taught any of this. Why wasn't I taught any of this? It was because a lot of times your parents are doing the same thing that you're doing. They were working their ass off to provide a life for a child without giving them the basics first. And the basics is talking to them, educating them. We cannot offload the responsibility of educating our children to schools and then wonder why they end up the way that they do. It's our responsibility first. It starts with us. And I'm telling you now, it's okay. And it's probably better for them if you tell them the truth when you ain't got it. When my mom, the best thing my mom could have did for me was show me her savings account. Because it's not even that they understand it right away. It could be that their psyche picks it up later on. And that's what happened to me. My mom showed me her savings account when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. And it was an account that she was saving for college for me. It had maybe $7,000 in it at the time. I don't remember exactly. I think that was all the savings she had to her name at the time. Okay? She was making okay money, but it was just her and me at the time. And I remember thinking, damn, that's a lot of money. And every Christmas, you know what happened? Every Christmas, regardless of the fact that sometimes she couldn't pay for the lights, regardless of sometimes the fact that it was a stretch, we had to figure out what we were going to do for food. You know what happened every Christmas? I always got anything that I asked for. She always made sure that I had everything that I needed. And I remember as an adult, maybe 3 or 4 years ago when I first started raising my daughter, I thought to myself, how the fuck did that happen? How is it possible that my mother had trouble paying for the basics, but I always had toys? It's the psyche. It's the psychological impact of what being a parent does to us. We think, as long as I give them what they ask for, I am doing the best that I can. And I'm telling you, as a parent, sometimes the best that you can is not giving them what they want, but giving them what they need. Imagine if I just had more conversations with my mom. And again, my mother did an excellent job with me. I'm not trying to say that. But what I'm saying is I have learned from her mistakes. And I'm sure she would tell you the same things. We talk about it all the time. We got to learn from where our parents did wrong. I was the first person in my family to be talking about finances in the way that I'm talking about them. That's a shame. Not because those people were dumb. They weren't dumb. They were just preoccupied with the way the world was set up for them. They said, well, this is what everybody's doing, so this is what we got to do. No. We can start. We can be the people who break the curses for our children. Because if we're going to go out there and say, the world is unfair, the world is shit, there's all of these traumas that children have to deal with. Okay, then let's not be part of the trauma. Let's not pass on gifts, let's pass on lessons. And let's, instead of giving them what they want, tell them the truth and teach them about how to budget, how finance works. Because although they might not appreciate it right then, although you might not get the dopamine hit of them smiling and saying, "Oh my God, thank you, mommy," right? I guarantee you that when they're 25 and they look around at their peers who didn't save, who didn't bother, right? Because their parents are doing exactly what you're doing now, they will thank you. They might not say it out loud, but they will be thankful. And that's what we're after. If you're a parent and what you really want is the best life for your kids, you have to be able to teach them how to be productive citizens, how to move in the world. So give them the lessons that you didn't get instead of the toys that everyone gets. I'll talk to you later.